Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about intentionally creating a life that you can't wait to show up for. So, a lot of us are reacting in life. We're spending a lot of time, things happen, things are coming your way. You sort of feel tossed about in this windstorm, and you're not necessarily going ahead to plan the things that you want, the desires, the wishes, the dreams. And so, today I'm going to give you a practical exercise to help you move in that direction. I'm Missy Hughes. I'm a productivity coach, and I help you get things done. So go to the link in the comments of this video and sign up for my newsletter where I give you weekly tips to use practical tools and get things done in your life. So there's so much of life that we are reacting to. There's so much that we can't possibly plan for because it's out of our control. And there's so much that we are sort of in a routine of because there are factors in our life. Maybe there are other people, maybe there are children, maybe there are people you're caring for. There's work, there's whatever it is that is creating your life, making up your life. We oftentimes feel rushed to respond. We aren't necessarily pausing to think how we want things to go. We're in it. It's happening. We're in it. It's immediate and wash, rinse, repeat. Do it again. So but we are humans with not only the survival brain that keeps you going and keeps you surviving, but we also have these prefrontal cortex, this thinking brain, this dreaming brain. So we come up with these ideas of what if, of like, wouldn't it be amazing? Of one day I'm gonna. And so the challenge is when we've got our ankles shackled by responding, we're not necessarily charging for to that amazing what if. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen. And if you're driving, obviously do this later. But if you are able to, once I give you the description, pause and do this exercise as we're going along. So, what I want you to do, I want you to set a timer for 2 minutes. And I want you to write down everything that you would like to do in the next week. So it doesn't have to be in the next year, in the next, lifetime, just the next week. If I could create this amazing week, what would I be doing in the next week? And include there are going to be a lot of things in your life that are routine that you don't think, oh, I need to like plan to brush my teeth. Now, I don't need you to go that detailed, but I do want you to plan if you want to get movement for your body in. Write that down. If you want to have meals with loved ones, write that down. If you want to, whatever it is, if you have a routine in the morning that makes you happy, like meditation or journaling or whatever, write that down. Whatever you would like to see yourself doing, write it all down. So pause now, write it down 2 minutes. Um, and I hope that you are able to do that. If you come back and you haven't, that's no big deal. We'll just keep it rolling and you do this when you can. Um, so hopefully you have all sorts of things on that list that some of which you're already doing. There may be some of which you're like, I'd like to do this. I'm kind of hoping it happens. And there's some things that you're like, well, maybe that was a dream. That's a pie in the sky. And all of that is amazing. Whatever it is great. Whatever came to your mind, I hope that you jotted it down. And if something else comes in, throw it down too. And here's what I want you to do with that list. Now I want you to go to that list and write down where is your focus in that action. For instance, if I'm planning a workout at 9 a.m., that's my time to work out. So I plan my workouts to be 30 minutes, 9 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. Um, and when I get there, I don't always necessarily want to be there. I'm not always like motivated, but I do schedule it so that it can happen. There's space for it. Um, But what I am connecting to in that is my relationship with my body. So only I can make myself stronger, only I can make myself more mobile, only I can make myself more flexible, whatever it is that I'm looking for. I'm the only one who can do that. So I'm building a relationship with me. I'm building a connection with me, with my body. If I am grocery shopping, for instance, or ordering food for the family, then I'm building a relationship with all of my family, my household. So I'm bringing foods into our house that either, you may find things that are like delighting you or giving you nutrition, or maybe you're entertaining people and you've got snacks, like whatever it is, you're building a relationship not only with your food, with your body still, again, but also with the people, anybody else living in your home, right? Totally as an aside, but I think this is so funny. John Berardi is a part of a company named Precision Nutrition, and I learned this from them that if it is in your house, either you or someone you love will eat it. And it's not like that stuff just happens. We bring these foods into our houses, so being intentional about what we bring in is important. I've always loved that because it just opened my eyes to, oh, actually, I have control into what's in my house. Anyway, I digress. Um, so I'm building a relationship with the people in my house and with my body. So I'm connecting in a couple of different areas with that. If I am walking my son to school, it's another thing that I do. I'm connecting to my dog, to my child, to the neighbor that walks with us, and to my husband because we're a pack that walks together. So I'm also connecting to my body. So I'm focusing on all those different areas in that task of walking to school. Now, I'm going to a friend's art exhibit this week. So I'm going to be connecting to my community through art. I'm going to be connecting to my friend through showing up for something that she's doing. I'm going to be connecting to my family because they're going with me. I'm going to be connecting to some other friends because hopefully I'm going to meet up with them. So another way that I'm building connections in my life by this one task that I'd like to do in this next week. So I want you to write down for each item, what are you connecting to? To whom are you connecting? The people in your life, yourself, the animals in your life, nature, your finances, your whatever it might be. Write all of those things down. So again, pause if you need to, do this exercise in this time if you can, and then come back. So for each of those items, I want you to see, hopefully you're able to see, okay, I'm connecting to a lot of different things, or maybe you're not connecting to a lot of different things. There are a couple of key areas that I want you to see in this activity of what am I connecting to? Number one is, do you like it? Ask yourself, okay, if I'm connecting to doing all these things for all these different people, do I like that? Do I want to do that? What is the energy that I'm bringing to that? Am I resentful? Am I excited? Do I love the way that relationship is developing? Do I love what they're getting out of it, what I'm getting out of it? Those are all just exploration questions about it. But the overarching question is, when I look at each of these things, when I look at each of the connections I'm making, do I like it? That is, you may think, okay, well, I don't like it, but what can I do about it? That is another decision, a later decision. The first one is just to understand, have awareness in how are you connected or are you not connected to what you're doing? So you may look at your work. Maybe you spend the predominant amount of time working. It's easy to get into. I've definitely had chapters of my life where everything else was on the periphery. Work was the only thing that got my number one attention. It was the only thing that got scheduled. It was the only thing that got any sort of privilege in my life. It was everything, but I didn't necessarily love that part of it. So I was in a little bit of discord. So when you look at what are the connections, do I like them? And then the next thing I want you to look at is what is the balance? Do I have a variety of connections? Am I looking at different areas of my life? Or am I really just honing in on one area, like work? You probably, there are a lot of areas in our lives that we can look at. You can look at your health, your physical health, your emotional health, your intellectual health, your spiritual health. All of those things are important. You can look at your financial, the financial part of your life. What is my relationship to money and my future and money and right now? Um, how am I looking at that, and am I looking at that? You can look at the relationships in your lives. How do I connect? How do I spend time with the people that are important to me? Am I nurturing those relationships, or are they kind of gliding under the radar? Listen, I want you each to know wherever you are is totally fine. Wherever you are is where you are. It's a starting point. And if you'd like to change it, you start from where you are. You don't have to feel that it is bad if it is something that you'd like to develop more. It's not wrong because it's not exactly where you want it to be. It's a starting point. And we all have starting points. Hopefully, we have lots of them, right? Hopefully, as we move along, even as we grow, we say, okay, here's my starting point now. And now I see this next door that I'd like to open. So, what am I connecting to? Do I like it? Is there balance? Is there a variety that I like? So looking at those different things. So what I want you to see in this exercise is you can't plan for the weather. I mean, you can a little, but if it starts raining when it wasn't supposed to rain for 2 more hours, it's still raining. You're going to either have to go inside or get wet. There's a lot of life that we are reacting to, and that's fine. It's always going to be that way. No matter how much we plan, we always will have parts of our lives that we are adjusting to, that we're reacting to. Yet, what I want you to see in this exercise is what are you also, and remember, these were a list of things that you wanted to do. So you haven't done them yet. You could also go back and do what did you do last week, and that would give you information also. But right now, what we're doing is where do you want to go, right? Where do you want it to be? And so when you find those, if you're, as you're looking at what you want to connect with, then you can say, okay, well, what of in all of these tasks get a priority for me? If I love that I'm connecting to this person in my life, amazing. Let's keep going and make sure that gets a priority. If I love that I'm connecting to my health in some way, then amazing. Let's always put a little bit of time, a little chunk of time in there. And make sure that you can get that into your week. A really funny thing that I used to do is I would plan my workouts, but I wouldn't plan my shower. So I found myself not having time, and I was constantly like just like doing a little washcloth bath and calling it a day. And I hated that. I was like, God, man, I'm always on the verge of like, do I stink? Like, am I okay? And then I decided, okay, if I do a workout, the workout time also has to include at least 20 minutes for a shower, for heaven's sakes. So I wasn't prioritizing that shower. I wasn't letting I was always in reaction mode in that because I didn't have that time. So, just a funny little insight into yours truly. I now plan for showers. They happen very regularly. Um, so as you're doing this exercise, look at the time that you have. You can take this forward into next week and say, okay, if this is very important to me, what time am I going to make this happen? Know that your plan will never be perfect. Know that this exercise is you just becoming more aware. So it doesn't, you're going to mess it up here and there. You're going to plan for something that you thought was important and it's not going to happen for some reason. That's all just information. But as you look at this exercise, you say, what am I doing? Do I like it? What do I want to do? Who am I connecting to? Do I want to build more connection in one area or another? Do I want to lessen some connection in one area or another? That is in your control. Those plans, those attention, that intention is in your control. That's what you get to decide, what you get to make happen, what you get to get done. And that's how you create the life that you cannot wait to live. That's how you decide, when am I going to live that life? What are the little bitty steps that are leading to that amazing life that I cannot wait to show up for? And every single week, whether it's today, this day, every day is a good day to start something new. Every day, it doesn't have to be this fresh start that we have right now. Today's a great day for a fresh start. So there's no perfect time to be perfect because it's not going to happen. But when you're looking at what am I connecting to, it doesn't have to be perfect. A relationship isn't perfect. A connection isn't perfect. A sunrise or a sunset, it's just how you look at it that makes it perfect or not. So I hope that this exercise can give you the opportunity to see where your attention is going, see where you're focusing, see what you're connecting to right now. And then you get to make some little tweaks if you want to and start creating what you really want to connect to. I will see you next week.